Welcome back. In Lesson 6, students will investigate plate movement. This is a real important lesson for understanding how we have to have models for things that are going on scales either too large or too slow for us to see. And plate movement is a perfect example of this. Although, of course, sometimes plate movement is fast, as in the case of earthquakes. We begin with an engage activity where students discuss models with maps, globes, and move on to inquiry 6.1, where students use foam pads to model plate movement and the formation of land. And these foam pads may or may not be the same color as the ones shown here, just FYI, and they are intentionally different. One set of foam pads is thinner and denser than the other, and this they will come to learn represents the oceanic crust, which is thinner and denser than continental crust due to the weight of the ocean and also the temperature of the ocean. So students will work with these foam pads to measure different types of plate movement. And also, you have a moving plate model. This is a fantastic model for students to see how plates move. You will cut out shapes of continents with Play-Doh, and you can tell this sort of like a story. It's happening over thousands of years or millions of years as you move these pieces of continents towards or away from each other by following the directions. It gives you very specific measurements. 8 centimeters apart represents movement over millions of years. And later when you talk about seafloor spreading, this is another great time to bring this model out, this moving plates model out. It's particularly helpful that belts underneath are red and they can represent new seafloor as it spreads away from trenches. And I know I've just gotten ahead of myself, but when you get to that point, you'll see that it's a great place to bring these out. Now, there's a lot more to this lesson than just that inquiry. There are a couple of movies which we've linked. We've highlighted a reading here. And in the movie, we've pulled a section out of the Volcanoes movie to help students understand the claims, evidence, and reasoning as it relates to this quote. And we've color-coded those in this next slide. And don't panic or be alarmed if this is not real clear to you. In most cases, claims and evidence is clear, and the reasoning is a little bit harder. And there are notes about that in the PowerPoints, and also those wonderful videos, the Bozeman Science videos, will help you with that as well. Students continue with claims, evidence, and reasoning in these added activities. For the elaborate section, we look at a very long-term picture, and we ask students to reconstruct Pangea using evidence about past plate motions. And this evidence includes things like ancient mountain ranges, which at one time were connected but now are spread far apart, and also fossils, land fossils, seafloor structures, rocks, these kinds of things that appear to be connected when this supercontinent was all together. But now that it's spread so far apart, these things are themselves spread far apart. But again, this is a fantastic way for students to learn about evidence. They also enjoy cutting these pieces out, and students are very tempted to just try to use the shape of the landforms to put them back together, but remind them that they do need to focus on connecting these pieces of evidence. Students always love cutting, playing with glue sticks and construction paper, and when you can tie that into something complicated like claims, evidence, and reasoning, that's even better. Enjoy Lesson 6. Students typically enjoy learning about Pangea a whole lot, and we'll see you back for Lesson 7.